What's cracking, everybody? James Koh here with you. Best Ball Live. That's what you're watching right now. We appreciate you watching 4for4 stream, or maybe you're watching on my stream at James D. Koh. Either way, we appreciate you joining us today. We got a great special guest today, noted kicker enthusiast. Yes, that's right. The defender of kickers in fantasy football, Jennifer Akins, joining us today here. The draft is going to start here in about 1 minute, Jennifer, but give us your thoughts. What's the strategy you're going to kind of sort of employ here?
Let me see. Where am I okay, I'm the 111. All right. So
end of the first round. Yep.
I am. Yes. So usually when I'm in here, I will start out probably with a couple wide receivers or a wide receiver and a tight end, depending on who's there. Or I don't know. I may just go rogue and take a running back. We shall see. I'm very no, seriously. I am a go with the flow drafter. I am not a.
I like it.
Yeah, I'm definitely not a zero RB, zero wide receiver, modifiable. I am with whatever is happening. So we'll see. You know, I'm kind of a get your guy kind of player, but we'll see. You know, sometimes I'll go and do random stuff depending on what you're doing, or we'll see.
I am generally that person, but today we're going zero RB. We're going to at least try. First couple, I'm not going to go I'm not going to be one of these hardcore zero RB guys. You know, wait until like the 8th, 9th round.
Right.
I'll probably go wide receiver off top. I'll see what tight end's looking like here in the second round, but probably wide receiver off the top. Maybe go wide receiver again in the third, depending on the way the wind blows, and then we might look at addressing running back. But certainly early on, I'm going to be thinking about going wide receiver. So let's just see how this draft goes. I'm not sure.
Yeah, that's kind of how I feel. I just it just actually went live a little bit ago. I just did a profile on Kareem Hunt, and I kind of tried to defy the whole dead zone thing. So I kind of proved my point a little bit. So I'm kind of anti the dead zone at this point. I mean, some of the guys I will not take, but I know a lot of people with zero RB, want to stay away from that dead zone. But I just spent most of my day yesterday going over those numbers of guys drafted between rounds 3 and 6 over the last couple of years to see. And it's not as ugly as people seem to think it is when you actually look at the data.
I kind of agree with that. Right off the top, we've got Christian McCaffrey, Dalvin Cook, Derrick Henry, Saquon Barkley, 1, 2, 3, 4, Alvin Kamara. So 5 running backs off the top. Very RB heavy in this draft. So, it's funny. I might just be priced into going wide receiver heavy off the top anyways.
Yeah, I mean, there's no surprise really yet. Sometimes people have been grabbing Kelsey in that earlier. I've seen him go in the top 6, but right now it looks
looking pretty good. You know what? I'm either thinking Stephon Diggs or Tyreek Hill, but I think overall, when I start thinking about big time weeks, Tyreek Hill's probably your guy.
Well, you got 5 seconds.
And I'll go ahead and draft Tyreek Hill. Why not?
Yep. It's pretty safe. I can't say you can argue with anything. Let's see. I guess I should pay attention to me.
You're coming up at in a few picks here, but going back to the Tyreek Hill pick. Look, you're talking about the number 1 wide receiver in probably the top offense in the NFL. So this is a guy that certainly, when we're talking about best ball, you don't have to worry about when the guy's going to go off. So it's just more of like, all right, when is he going to give you that 2 touchdown performance? When is he going to give you that 3 touchdown performance? And certainly that is in his bag at some point this season.
Absolutely. I mean, I know, certain people have issues with him morally, but at the end of the day, for fantasy football purposes, you can't go wrong with Hill.
There is that as well.
All right, I'm coming up, and I guess you guys can't see my queue, but right now,
I cannot.
Right now, I'm debating. I've got Travis Kelce and I've got Diggs. If they both go, then I'm not exactly sure where I'm going to go here. All right, he took Akers, so I am safe. I'm probably going to take one of those 2. Oh wow, he took Chubb. Okay,
Cam Akers going that early is a surprise, man.
That would not be me. I'm going to take Kelce because you know what? I am. I like Kelce. I cover tight ends for 4for4 every season, and I'm definitely about paying up. It's tough. Kelce is tough because he went from a second rounder to a first rounder this year, which is a little scary, but I'm good with it. And yes, back to what you were saying about Cam Akers, I agree. I don't know that he's a round 1 guy. I just don't see it.
I don't see it either. I mean, again, I think there will be certain games certainly where he pops off, but paying, top 10 prices for Cam Akers, way too rich for my blood. And here's the other thing, if you're sitting there at 1.9, I would be really confident that Cam Akers probably falls to me in the second round. You know what I mean? So I think you're paying premium prices for Cam right there, which I just don't necessarily agree with. And you know what? Sean McVay too, Jennifer, has talked about wanting to go to more of that, running back by committee model. And I think Darrell Henderson, fabulous player. I think he's certainly going to get a lot of work in that offense too.
Absolutely. He's definitely one of my later round targets. He took Diggs. Okay. I have to readjust here. But yes, I'm definitely one of those people that is going for Darrell Henderson in those later rounds, because I think he's going to cut into Akers' work for sure. All right, so here we've got, I'd like to stay wide receiver here since I went Kelsey. Adams, I'm a little scared of. We've got Hopkins, we've got A.J. Brown, we've got Ridley. I think I'm going to go. A.J. Brown. I might have gone. Hopkins was definitely heavily in the consideration there, but I like A.J. Brown. I don't think Julio is going to mess him up too much. I like him as that second pick, and I'm good with it.
Yeah, well, A.J. Brown's a special player. There's no doubt about it. And you think about that offense now. I've really been going back and forth. I got my pick coming up here in a few picks, but I've got all kinds of wide receivers lined up. You guys can see my screen: DK Metcalf, Justin Jefferson, Calvin Ridley. I don't care who falls to me there. I'm going to be going. That's like any one of those guys is an auto pick there, mid-second round for me. But again, that offense there in Tennessee, man, it's like, I know Julio just said it, or one of these receivers just said it's pick your poison, right? And it really is. Like, what are you going to do? We're talking about an offense with Derrick Henry racking up 2,000 yards. It's like, okay, go ahead, load that box. You want to go single high safety? We're going verticals. We're going verticals with A.J. Brown or Julio Jones, and good luck stopping that. I cannot believe Devontae. Okay, hold on. I have to reassess.
Someone just took Mixon. Someone just took.
I have to reassess because I thought that Devontae Adams was going to go.
I know.
I didn't even highlight him, but taking him in the second round is it's too much value for me.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, and even if Rodgers isn't there, Adams is the kind of player. I mean, I think that he's going to be fine, especially as a second rounder. I was close, but I let him fall to you.
I loved the Calvin Ridley pick there. Antonio Gibson going, mid to late second round there. I don't know about you, Jennifer, but I'm all aboard the Washington hype train. I am all in on that offense. I love Antonio Gibson there.
I do too, and I am all in as well. I've taken a lot of Curtis Samuel this season because his ADP is pretty nice. And Terry is Terry. I'm all aboard. I don't know, as everyone, we don't know how long Ryan Fitzpatrick is going to last, but while he's there, it's going to be glorious.
Yeah, I know. That's what I love about it. And of course, we're kind of sort of, and he plays at a position that, doesn't have a lot of fragility, right? So like, even though he is getting up there a little bit in age, and certainly he's the guy that takes risks and will hang in the pocket. Still, though, you got to be pretty confident that Ryan Fitzpatrick is going to give you, 12 to 16 games going to 2021. So that is why I think everybody is super excited about that Washington football team. Yeah,
I mean, listen, I think unless he gets hurt, I think he's definitely good for that, because who else do they have? I mean, they're not going to bench him. He got benched last year for Tua because they wanted to see what they had. I mean, they don't have anyone that they're dying to, so I think as long as he's healthy and doing his thing, I think Fitzpatrick is going to be, hopefully he goes, like you said, anywhere in the 12 to 16 game range.
Or I guess 12 to 17 now.
Yeah, you're right.
I got to fix up my verbiage, the one thing is, though, I do wonder about is the turnovers, right? Like, if he has a considerable drop off in terms of the turnovers, and he's costing them games, then I could see them saying, man, we almost have to do it. We almost have to play somebody who's going to be a little bit more conservative with the football. But I don't know, man. I think at this point, it's like, what you're getting with Ryan Fitzpatrick, and you're going to get a guy who's going to force a lot of balls. It's a tight coverage. And the great thing about this situation that he's walking into is that he's got the pass catchers that will make it work, So that's kind of what I'm excited about it.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And he's made a lot of, he's supported a lot of fantasy football, wide receiver ones over the years and wide receiver twos. I mean, he's got all the way back to, you got Brandon Marshall and Eric Decker, and you look all through the years, even in Houston. I mean, he's supported a lot of guys, so That offense is exciting.
Oh,
Ooh, you're up. You're
I
up.
can't believe that it's very apropos because we're talking about Washington,
Yes.
and I absolutely love Terry McLaurin this year. So for me, again, wide receiver right off the top, and my 3 wide receivers. I'll let you guys look at it. But Tyreek Hill, Devontae Adams, Terry McLaurin. I feel like Tyreek Hill, Devontae Adams. I almost have 2 first-round picks there. Terry McLaurin, there in the 3rd round, I think is tremendous value for me too. So obviously I have not addressed running back, which is a little bit scary, but off the top, my first 3 picks, I absolutely love.
No, I do too. I'm kind of jealous. You have a great little thing happening there. I'm up in a bit. Oh, I'm up next.
Yes.
And the guys that I wanted, well, I was wanting A-Rob or Cooper. They're both gone. The question now is whether I'm one of the few. I love Chris Carson, and looking at the data on Chris Carson, he's always up there. And every year, everyone doubts him, and then it doesn't happen. I'm in a position right now that I have 1 wide receiver and 1 tight end. So
AJ Brown, Travis Kelce, your first 2 picks.
Yeah, which I'm happy with them, but I'm wondering if I go either. I'm definitely not a J.K. Dobbins fan, so that's not going to happen. I could go. I think I'm going to go Carson because I don't want to end up. I don't love that, but I'm okay with it. I can't say I'm internally screaming about that, but at the same time, I'm okay with it because I don't know. This guy, Zach Monty, only has 1 running back. So if you took him, then I'd have to wait a lot of picks until it comes back to me. So now I'm looking at my next here. I'm looking at either CD or Robert Woods. He took Dobbins. Okay, let's see what he does. But that's where I'm kind of leaning. I'm not going to take Julio, obviously, because I already have, and I don't know that. Okay, he took Lamb. You know what? I'm going to go Woods because I always do. He's I seriously, I don't know what my actual exposure is to Robert Woods, but it's a lot, and I just took him. But I'm cool with it. 4th round, I'm good. I like Woods.
Hey. By the way, we are in the 4th round. We are giving away a free $25 entry into Best Ball Mania 2. It's the $1 million contest by Underdog. If you guys want to be eligible for that entry, there's a couple of different ways, but we'll do it the first way, which is just guess my 5th round pick. Guess my 5th round pick and throw it into the chats, and then we will see.
Ooh, all right.
And now I am up, and I'm oh my gosh, I'm actually thinking about wide receiver again.
Hey, who's left that you like?
I love Jamar Chase. Oh my gosh, I think I'm just gonna do it.
Hey, you went into this saying you were gonna do it, so you might as well stay with it, right?
I'm just gonna go ahead and do it.
You did it.
I just think Jamar Chase for me is a potential Hall of Fame talent. That's how good this guy is. Unbelievable athleticism, catch radius is limitless, and he's working with a quarterback that knows him. Zach Taylor, a former quarterback. I think he's going to want to throw the ball all over the yard. Their defense is questionable. And again, when we start talking about, hey, why does the defense matter for pass catch? Well, it's because if they're in a lot of negative game scripts, which I think they might be, they're going to have to throw, playing with a quarterback, wide receiver that know each other. They're both super talented. Zach Taylor, again, offensive-minded guy. He's going to want to throw. All of that looking really, really good for the pass catchers. And let's be real here. T. Higgins is a really good player too. Meaning what? This is an offense that can keep that ball moving, right? Like Tyler Boyd, also a very good player. Joe Mixon, a good player. I just feel like this offense, and Jennifer, I don't know how you feel about it, but this offense to me is one of the more undervalued offenses in the NFL. I know our guy, Matt Harmon, also wrote a big piece on Best Ball in regards to Cincinnati, in regards to this as well. But I just think you're going to find a lot of value in Cincinnati this year.
I do too. I mean, I think they're undervalued as far as Burrow. I think people are on the pass catchers, and people are always on Mixon, or at least mixed feelings about Mixon. Right. I think Burrow is one of those, though, that people are a little bit scared of and aren't taking him. You know, I think his ADP is low for considering the talent that he has and considering what the potential is this season.
Okay, so my 5th round pick is coming up, guys.
Ooh.
And oh god, I wanted Kyle Pitts so bad. So if you guys were going to guess Kyle Pitts, you would have been right. But no, he's gone.
Somebody
so
did.
make that guess. Make that guess. Josh Allen, I believe, is he the first quarter? No, he can't be.
No, Mahomes went a little bit ago. I saw that.
There you go. All right, so I've got a full slate in front of me here today. I don't know what I want to do. I kind of sort of want to go running back. I'm running out of time. Oh my gosh, there's not a whole lot in here that I love though.
As I just said, I like Hunt, but I understand a lot of people don't. But I think he's a non-handcuff. I'm a fan.
Yeah, I'm feeling it, and I hope I went there. I was just about to click on him. I don't know what the hell I picked. Oh, I picked Kyler Murray.
Kyler. All right, well, so
I
nobody
sort of fell into Kyler.
Oh wow! Somebody read option said Kyler. I don't know if it was before the pick or after, but
oh
he guessed
great!
It.
Well, you win. I wasn't thinking quarterback there, but that's okay. I kind of sort of ran out of time. I was that pick obviously snuck up on me.
It did. We were chatting away, and that means I'm actually up in 2 picks, so I need to kind of make sure that I. Well, I may end up with. Let's see here. Ooh,
dude, read option coming in clutch right there. By the way, good stuff. Nice.
You know what? I'm going to practice what I preach here, and I'm going to take Hunt because I wrote about 1,500 words on him yesterday. So I figure I should. So I'm going to take him. I don't. You know what? This is a weird. These are the rounds. Like this level of receiver I don't love. Like I don't like the Ayuk, Beckham, Sutton. It's not where I like to be. So that's kind of why I ended up with Hunt. Now I've got two running backs that nobody likes except me, so that's fine. And then next here, I am probably going to go receiver. Even though I will say, like Dak being there, in the 6 is kind of a smidge tempting.
Yeah, for sure.
So I may go that route if he doesn't.
I think Dak. I think Brandon Ayuk there is a very interesting play.
Yeah, you know what? I'm gonna take Dak. That way I can just pound receiver for a bit after this.
All right, let's take a look at your team right now. So you got Dak, you've got
this is a strange team for me.
Is it?
I've got Dak, I've got Chris Carson and Hunt, and then I have AJ Brown, Woods, and then I have Kelsey. It's a little odd for me, but not really. I mean,
it's really balanced.
Yeah,
it's really balanced.
And like I told you coming into this, that's kind of how I am. I'm definitely not. I just kind of go with the flow of whatever's happening. So yeah, I've got kind of and I haven't really addressed. I don't know. Are you a stack person?
I am a stack person.
I am too, but
and obviously I have not done that.
Nor have I. You are up
obviously
next.
I have not done that. There's no tight end. If you guys can see my screen, there's no tight end that I really like, even though Mark Andrews just went right there. So I tell you what, I will think about running back here. Not a big Chase Edmonds guy, at least not for 2021. I am actually really liking Trey Sermon. You're talking about I believe who's going to be a lead back in a Kyle Shanahan offense. That's a lot of explosive power for me. And Trey Sermon, I think, can get the job done. Did I take him a little earlier than I probably want to? Yeah, I did. But again, when I'm thinking about guys that can explode, especially in this best ball format, I'll take it there. And plus, again, there wasn't really anybody else that I really loved there. Maybe Brandon Ayuk would have been somebody that I would have considered there. But I'm with you. I think Odell Beckham comes with question marks. Cortland Sutton, obviously coming off of an injury. We're not sure about him. And all these other guys, man, like, Tyler Boyd in this format, I don't think I'll ever draft him. Like, I think he's a good player and he's good in redraft and very consistent, but is he going to be a guy that ever gets you a 2-touchdown game? I don't think so.
Yeah, I agree. Unless he falls super low, I kind of feel the same way. I like Robbie Anderson. Obviously with Sam Darnold there, it's a little bit of a question mark. But in a vacuum, I'm all about Robbie Anderson. But yeah, so I agree with you there. Let me just see here. Where are we? Oh, okay. I just want to make sure I wasn't up. I got twisted for a sec. We actually have time. So let's look at your team real quick. Okay, you've got Kyler, you've got Trey, and then you've got 4 really good wide receivers.
Yeah, 4 really good wide receivers. So that's going to be the strength of my team. And again, I like I was saying, I'm going into this with the thought that I'm going to go 0 RB. And so, when you play this way, you're going to end up with a funky looking roster sometimes, but I don't hate what I got on paper right now.
Absolutely not. I don't either. I'd be cool with that as my team. Let's see.
How far are you?
I got a while. You go before me, so.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
I'm good. I was just kind of scanning some other teams to see if we can make fun of anybody, but I think, well, no, because you know what? Usually you have those RB hoarders. I don't see any in this draft, which I'm, the guys that'll go 5 out of 6 of the first picks, and it drives me insane. But I don't really see anybody like that. I mean, one guy, went 3 in a row at the start, which is fine. I mean, it's nothing I would do, but I can't really hate that.
It's really interesting. I'm actually thinking quarterback here.
Really?
Although I might just load up on.
I was like, you can get Burrow for the stack. Be pretty.
I can get Burrow for the stack, but I think I can actually wait on him here. Even though I am up right now, there's not a ton that I love here. I do think that Damian Harris. I'm so intrigued by Raheem Morris too, though. Or Raheem Mostert. Oh, God.
Mostert, yeah. I was like, Morris.
But Damian Harris, I thought he showed a lot of promise last year. This is going to be a team that, again, they don't have great pass catchers, even though they tried to address the situation there this offseason. And I think it's going to be a little bit of a kind of a, low air yards type of offense. I think they're going to run the ball quite a bit. And I really, really thought that Damian Harris looked good last year in spurts. So can he put together an entire season? We shall see.
Mm-hmm. So I'm up next, and I'm definitely going to go wide out. And at the moment, I think I'm going to take our boy Curtis Samuel that we were just talking about. If he goes, then I may go Judy reluctantly. Judy just went, so that helps me. All right, then I'm just going to go Curtis Samuel because.
Boom.
Yep, I'm good with that I'm totally okay with that in the late 7th, and then I've seen him go in the 6th in some drafts. So
your team is extremely balanced right now. You've got a premium quarterback. You've got 2 extremely solid wide receivers. Running backs, and then your wide receiver trio of AJ Brown, Robert Woods, Curtis Samuel. You're not going to be displeased with that. And then, of course, Travis Kelce there leading the way at tight end.
Right. So now I'm up in another. Let me see here. This is a tough spot. I want to like Michael Carter, but it's hard for me to get there. I know a lot of people do. But I don't think that I like him enough to take him right now. Oh, okay. Oh, I am up. Let's see.
Michael Carter just got taken, so that's
he did.
Bad.
Oh, okay, good. Yeah. So I don't have to do that. I'm gonna go. No, I am gonna go receiver here, and I'm thinking. I think I may go either Landry. Let me just put Landry there in case I. I really want to believe in Juju. It's hard for me too. I don't know how you feel about him. I think I'm just going to go Landry and not really love it, but it's fine. Okay. Like I said, that little tier, of receivers is a really difficult one because it's like they all have issues. They all have potential, but they all have issues. And like Fuller, same thing. It's like I want to love him being there, and I want to love that situation with him and Tua, but I also, don't know that I believe in his health or believe in – I don't know. That's a tough one. I've taken a little bit of Fuller just to mix it up, obviously for the portfolio, but and I don't have a lot of whoever I just took, Landry. So I figured, I might as well throw one out there because the Browns' offense, let's face it, it's hard to say, but they're good. They have a really good offensive line. So
I am thinking about going off menu here.
Ooh, okay.
Actually, I'm thinking about just stacking my Niner backs.
Oh, all right.
It's very unconventional. to do it this way, but that's how much I believe in the Shanahan run scheme.
I was just going to say, if you're going to do it on any team, that's the team to do it.
And it's a team that has shown that they are committed to running the ball, and they are all about explosive plays. And when we saw Mostert play last year and when he was healthy, he was an extremely explosive player. I was extremely high on him last year, got injured, didn't work out that way. But now with two running backs there that I think, can make big plays. Like I said, do I love it? No. But in the 8th round, I'm not hating it. And again, I don't have to pick the weeks when either one of these guys goes off. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. That's the key.
And that's kind of what I like. Yeah.
That's like with Damian Harris when you picked him. I was going to say that. Like, I can't. The Patriots backfield and redraft, I will never do it again. Last year, I actually had Harris and James White, and every week it was a struggle. Every single week. So I will never do that to myself again. What I'm thinking right now, just so you know, I mean, we have a while, and I'm not sure when that'll happen, but because I didn't realize, because I took Landry and I have Hunt, I guess I'm going to go for Baker at some point because, I might as well, right? If I already have two of his, because Hunt does catch passes. So I feel like if I grab Baker, that could be a nice little stack. Because like I said, I haven't really focused on that yet. And I'm usually more stack oriented. You are up in about 3 picks.
I'm there's a number of ways I can go here. And I think, quarterback is certainly on the table for me. I just look at Aaron Rodgers and Ryan Tannehill, and to me, that's just too much value here. And again, Kyler Murray, premium quarterback, certainly. But again, you do want to have, in terms of roster construction, a couple of guys that you feel extremely comfortable with at the quarterback position. Because let's be honest, those are the guys that are going to score a ton of points, and you need to get those guys. If I address quarterback here, I don't need to worry about the position again, and then we just kind of sort of roll. So that's kind of the reason why I'm thinking quarterback. Aaron Rodgers, Ryan Tannehill, both extreme. Oh my gosh.
And you do have Adams. So.
Right? Yeah, I know. And that's why I'm thinking about this Rodgers stack, especially this late. And I'm running out of time, and I think I'm going to pull an audible and go Ryan Tannehill. I think he gives you a little bit more rushing ability. Golly, man, I really did want to pull the trigger there on Aaron Rodgers, but Ryan Tannehill had 40 total touchdowns last year. Very under the radar.
Absolutely. I've been taking him so much so far this offseason. I think now that with the Julio thing, I think, it's, but for some reason, I don't know if it's the whole recency bias of him, how he was in Miami, but like he's had several really good seasons with the Titans, and people refuse to believe it or like acknowledge it. It's like, how are you expect AJ Brown to go off and be wide receiver 1? I'm on the clock and I am not even remotely ready. Hold on a second. I've got nothing queued. I'm just chatting away. All right. You know what?
Yeah, I know. Let's
see here. Is there any? You know what? I like Gus. I'm going to take Gus. It's probably too early, but I just saw him, and that's it. So I can keep talking. Okay.
Well, no, you really can't. You're up again in like 2
I know. All right. I do like Gus, though, so I'm cool with that. I think that I don't know even if they sign Gurley, I'm still okay with Gus. I think that J.K. Dobbins is not going to have, as much of the target or much of the, touches that people seem to think. So, similar to the Akers situation, who just went? All right. You know what? If I want, there's still plenty of quarterbacks, so I don't want to go that route yet. Let's see who's in the wide receiver mix. Ugh, it's already getting ugly. I'm jealous that you have all these wide receivers. You know what? I just took Devontae Parker. I think he's someone that's being undervalued as well. I think because of Waddle and because of Tua's struggles last year, I think people are kind of writing him off. And so I think in the 10th round, if he is still their wide receiver 1, I think he's going to be, it's a pretty good value for in the 10th.
There's a lot of kind of, wide receivers here that I don't know, man. Like Mecole Hardman's probably the last of the great upside wide receivers. Corey Davis, I guess, to a degree too, but I don't see tons of upside here. Although, which is why And again, I could go RB, right? I could absolutely go RB if I wanted to here. But I think tight end is something that's speaking to me right now.
Yeah. Who do you have? Who are you liking?
No. Noah Fant
he just took Fant and Smith.
That one hurt.
Yeah.
That one did hurt a little.
Are you not into Jasicki?
I am.
I know it's tough.
I don't know about this early though. That's what makes it a little tough.
Yeah, you are in the 10th.
It's fine. I wanted to get Henderson anyways at some point in my draft. And again, we're going 0 RB, right? So, you look at my running backs right now: Trey Sermon, Damian Harris, Raheem Mostert, Darrell Henderson. Look, there's a lot of explosive plays to be had among that group. Now, obviously, a ton of question marks, but the fact that Trey Sermon, Mostert, and Henderson at least play in extremely explosive run offenses, that's at least encouraging for me.
Absolutely. And like we talked about earlier, I like Henderson. I would have taken him at some point if he didn't. So I think he's going to surprise a lot of people as far as how much he cuts into Akers. And like you said, that offense, and we have Stafford, so we're not really sure exactly what it's going to look like, but I think we still have Sean McVay, and we still, so I think that offense is going to be pretty fun to watch.
I got to be honest with you. I'm actually surprised. And again, we saw Cam Akers go in the first round of this particular draft. I'm actually surprised that guy didn't think about taking Henderson like in the 9th. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, it's weird. A lot of people that, within the last year is the first year, like this whole, you don't take your own handcuff thing. It's like this fever pitch started, and all of a sudden everyone is anti-drafting your own handcuff. When I don't, and I don't understand when that happened. Like that used to be what you did, but now all of a sudden, you can't do that. So I don't know if that's, he has that mentality, or I think in best ball though, it would make sense, because then if you want whatever's happening in that offense.
Exactly. If you are so high on Cam Akers, that means you love his surroundings, right? Like you like the offensive line. Maybe you just like the offense in general. It's going to be a high scoring offense, I imagine, with Matt Stafford, maybe one of the high scoring in the NFL. You love Sean McVay. That's why you take Cam Akers in the first round. And if that's the case, if that's the soil that you're planting that seed in, well, hey, you got to like what Darrell Henderson brings to the table too, just in case. Hey, listen, if Cam Akers gets hurt, and again, Sean McVay has said, hey, we want to run by, we want to do this thing by committee. All of that sort of adds up into, I don't even think Henderson's a handcuff so much as he has standalone value. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. You are up next, actually. I don't know if you're aware.
I am up next. There's, I'm up now in the 11th round, and there's not a whole ton I love. I got to be honest with you. Now, that being said, there are some guys that, interesting to me. Hines is going to be somebody that I'm looking at. I want to address tight end at some point, and I might just do it now. I think I might just go Evan Ingram. I tell you what, if I wasn't chatting up, I probably would check out this board a little closer.
Yeah, it's funny because I have 2 running backs queued up that I want, but I didn't want to say anything while you're fishing through there. But no, I like Jamal Williams a lot, and I like Latavius Murray just because he's consistent. So those are the 2 that I'm targeting right now. I'm sure they'll probably both go right here, but both of these guys in front of me have 3 and 4 running backs, so we'll see what they do. But
this little 9, 10, 11 run on tight ends has been interesting, right? Like Tyler Higbee, Logan Thomas, both really good players in respective positions there. Then we're looking at Noah Fant, Irv Smith, Mike Gesicki, Adam Troutman, and then Evan Ingram, Robert Tonyan. So what are we talking in 3 rounds here? We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 tight ends go in 3 rounds. Certainly a big tight end run.
Yes, which is why, for me, I'm happy I have Kelsey. I just took Jamal Williams, just so you know, and I'm a big fan of him. I think similar to the Akers-Henderson thing, I think Swift is not going to get as much as people think he is, and I think Jamal Williams, they didn't pay him as much money as they did to sit there and do nothing. So I think in the 11th, I'm good with that. I am now – think I'm going to take Baker, or depending on what happens, he took Tua, so he probably won't take another here, or he may double dip.
You may, yeah.
If not, I don't love Baker by any stretch, but like I said, I have Hunt and I have I have Hunt and I have Landry, and then I also have Dak. Oh, let me just check the bye weeks. Am I good there? Yes. Okay. Then I'm going to take.
Oh my gosh. That is such a good call. I haven't looked at buys at all.
The only time I really look at buy is quarterback. I think for the rest of the positions that it'll even itself out and you'll be fine. But I mean, quarterback is the only one, and tight end, that I really pay attention to, because you don't want to completely.
Well, in this format, yeah, exactly. Yeah. In this format, there's no pickups, right? So if you have both your quarterbacks off on a week, then that's a problem. Mm-hmm. Same thing with tight end. So that's interesting. I'm so glad you mentioned that. I just didn't look at it at all.
Well, when you're trying to chat and do the live stream and draft two different, it could get away from you.
There's a lot of different ways I could go here. I kind of like Madison in this spot. Mm-hmm. There's these wide receivers, Ruggs and Rager are two guys that I think are very interesting as well. Not really anyone in the tight end position. Oh, actually, but I did see Elijah Moore here.
That's what I was just about to say. Elijah Moore is the only other guy other than Ruggs or Rager that I think about. I mean, Davis is kind of interesting, I guess. I mean, that Buffalo offense is obviously going to score points, but who'd you go with?
Oh, I went with Elijah Moore. Yeah,
I like it. I like that pick.
To the queue. I'm going to bank on talent, mm-hmm. And we'll see. Look, the Jets sneakily actually have a decent wide receiving core. Are they great? No, but they're absolutely decent. Denzel Mims, huge catch radius, good mm-hmm. athlete, great athlete actually. They add Corey Davis on the flanker side too, and I think that's going to be really good. And Elijah Moore, just right up the middle. Mm-hmm. What are they going to do with Jamison Crowder? I think is probably the biggest question.
Yeah.
I'm just surprised they held on to him. They could have got out of his contract, and yet they didn't. So and then there's all these press reports too, Jennifer, that they want to keep him, that they want to make sure that he's on the team. I guess I just don't understand all that.
Yeah, I don't understand why. I mean, I would think that they could have gotten rid of him and gotten maybe some draft capital or something. And it's like, the guy's talented. Like, it's a bummer where he is. Like, I wish we could free him and send him to, Detroit or another team that could use him, because he
really needs to go to Green Bay. That's where
Green Bay too. Either one of those. Like, it's a bummer because he's talented and he's kind of buried now, and I don't know what. But then again, I think they're still reeling from the Adam Gase era that they're trying to dig out, and figure out who they are and what they're going to do. I mean, I think that he went in there and kind of blew up the whole organization. So I think they're trying.
And Adam Gase offenses have tended to kind of drive themselves through the slot receiver position. So that again, like, how much does Jamison Crowder have left? I thought he was a good player last year, but I thought we saw a little bit of degradation, certainly with his not his skills, but certainly his athleticism a little mm-hmm. bit. The injury certainly starting to pile up given the age and all that stuff. So, but man, listen. As a slot man, every down slot man in Green Bay, sign me up for that all day long. I think he would be tremendous.
Yes. Where are we here? You're coming up. How are you feeling about the whole Jonnu Smith, Hunter Henry? Are you avoiding both?
Yeah, I'm not touching that.
I've been avoiding both, and then all of a sudden I kind of talked myself into Jonnu. I mean, I'm not going to take him, but it's weird. I've had this weird little recent, well, maybe, but I can't do it.
No, I don't. First of all, I don't trust the quarterback. I'm up right now. And,
yes.
And in terms of the tight ends that do intrigue me, I think Gronk is interesting here. I think Blake Jarwin is very interesting mm-hmm. at this position. And so too is, guys like Jared Cook and Gerald Everett.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my goodness. I'm absolutely torn.
I am probably going to go tight end here soon, so I'll just be quiet and let you do your thing.
Well, I'm going to go ahead and take the guy that I was thinking about getting in the previous round.
Oh,
we're
Madison.
In round 13.
Yeah,
we're in round 13. And again, when you're going 0 RB, look, if something happens to one of these four wide receivers, Tyreek Hill, Devontae Adams, Terry McLaurin, Jamar Chase, I'm in trouble anyways, right? So, I could sort of strengthen that position if I want to, but not really something I'm looking at. Meanwhile, I've got to have some kind of upside in the running back room. And I think Madison presents that for you mm-hmm. there in Minnesota.
All right, I am up, and I am going to take Blake Jarwin because I have Dak. And so I just want to kind of get my second tight end, my second and only. I'm only going 2 since I have Kelsey. And I will. Now I'm done with that, and I'm good.
Can you talk about that too? Because again, I know that's best ball, and a lot of teams. I'm gonna be looking at tight end pretty much exclusively from here on out. But when you have, again, this kind of goes back to, positional strength. If something happens to Kelsey, your team's done. So talk about, that mentality sort of in your drafting process.
I will in 1 second, because I'm up. So
yes, perfect.
Let me I'm not up, but I'm close. And I'm probably going to take a running back here. Maybe not. I did a roster construction article. I'm sorry, a win rate article for not Underdog. It was. Hold on.
Just want to say what's up to the chat, by the way. Tyler Bootsy, Tyler B, in there. Read option, by the way, earning that $25 entry into Best Ball Mania 2, which is great. Who else we got up in there right now, man?
Bootsy, Tyler B, I don't know who that is. Yeah.
Yep.
It's interesting. It depends on the type of draft, but I usually feel like if you have an elite tight end, there's just no reason to grab that third tight end on the later rounds. And like I was starting to say, I did a win rate piece recently that kind of went over, and it just showed that hitting on a tight end like after round 15, it doesn't happen very often. Right. So if you're gonna kind of forego the elite tier and go for those, the middle ones that, or 2 in the, say, 10 to 12 round range or whatever, 3, that works a little better. But if you kind of wait and take that dart throw in the 16th, 17th round, they very rarely work out. So I just feel like if I have Kelsey, I mean, listen, knock on wood, it could happen, but Kelsey doesn't usually get hurt, and he doesn't. Yeah. So I feel like I have that. And then, Jarwin, on the other hand, did miss the entire last season. So I could be shooting myself in the foot, but it is what it is. I'd rather, because I don't love, my running backs as much, or my wide receivers as much, that I feel like I'm going to kind of load up in that range instead. I don't hate it though. Like you said, I feel like my team is decently balanced, so that if I do lose Kelsey, I'm not completely screwed, because I do have Brown and Woods, and I feel like I have some guys that can carry me. But that's why we play the games, right?
Absolutely. Looking at your wide receiving core, AJ Brown, Robert Woods, Curtis Samuel, Jarvis Landry, Devontae Parker. Again, very solid. Very solid.
Yeah, they're all right. I'm okay with them. I feel like a lot of them, Are you a little bit concerned about what you got going on with running back right now? Chris Carson, Kareem Hunt, Gus Edwards, Jamal Williams. A little and not really. None of that. Listen, Carson is someone that I will always back, because I feel like for some reason he gets a lot of people don't like him, but he always is there. And we always know with Seattle, they're going to establish, right? So he's going to be there. I think Hunt, Edwards, and Williams are all guys that could be, most likely will be in the RB2 to RB3 range at the end of the day, but they all have the potential to not be. If something happened to Swift or Dobbins or Chubb, they could all potentially be in that RB1 to 2 range. So I'm kind of okay with them. I don't think they're league winning guys, but they could be, they're, one hamstring tweak away, and you never know. And Hunt has standalone value. He's the only one in that backup group that does have standalone value. He gets enough. He had 236 touches last year. That was, right. Chubb did miss 4 games, but I think he'll still have around that 200 range this year too. So I'm okay with that.
Just kind of going over some of my favorite picks here late anyways. Emmanuel Sanders, in the 14th, end of the 14th. Love it. Gerald Everett is somebody that, obviously, if you guys were watching my screen, I had start him up, queued him up. I was ready to kind of go in on Gerald Everett too. We're seeing some, quarterbacks go late. Daniel Jones, who I think is a really good pick this late. Jameis Winston, Zach Wilson. These are good picks late.
Are you a 3 QB guy?
Well, not with my current construction. No. With Kyler Murray and Ryan Tannehill, I think it's enough. I sort of still need to throw more darts at running back and tight end is really what it comes down to. We are in round 15 now?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm running out of picks, like I would love to think about, 3 quarterbacks, maybe even another wide receiver. Let me just take a really quick look at wide receivers or anybody that I just need on my team right now.
You are up.
Not really.
Okay.
And then when I look at running back, I like Philip Lindsay though.
I love Philip Lindsay.
I don't, yeah.
I mean,
I'm just going to go ahead and I'll go ahead and take him. Look, I know it's a crowded room there.
It is.
Obviously, they've got 4, running backs and none of them are great.
No, and
David Johnson, like
they're
Mark Ingram, they
old.
all have question marks. Yeah, exactly. And then of course, the New England guys got to bring in another New England guy for absolutely no reason. But Philip Lindsay is the youngest of the group. And I thought when he was given an opportunity, I thought he did really, really well. Now, again, is he going to get that opportunity? If Deshaun doesn't play for the Texans, this offense looks bad, right? And so to me, this pick, it absolutely will not work out unless Deshaun plays. But if he plays, it's an offense that I think can put up some points. And if that's the case, I think Philip Lindsay becomes your clear-cut pass-catching option. I mean, you could say what you want about Burkhead, but I'll go ahead and put my chips on Philip Lindsay if we're making those picks.
What round are we in?
We're in 16 now.
Okay.
Beginning of the 16th round.
Okay, so my last 2 picks, I kind of went off menu. As you say, I took Carr. I don't know that I love that, but I love Dak and Baker's okay, but what if Dak goes down? What if Baker is pre 2020 Baker? So I just grabbed Carr just to grab him. I don't know that I loved that pick, but it was kind of a panic pick. And then I took Diami Brown. As we've been hyping up the Washington offense, and I already have Samuel, so I figured a little mini stack there, and I just grabbed Brown.
Well, I got to be honest with you. There's not a whole lot left that I am in love with.
Exactly.
Boy,
you got 5 seconds.
I got 5 seconds. I'm just out of it. I ended up taking Josh Reynolds here.
All right.
He's going to be the 3rd wide receiver. He's going to work primarily out of the slot there for Tennessee. And again, if it's a situation where I feel like, Tennessee's offense is as explosive as I think it's going to be, certainly Josh Reynolds will have opportunities to score touchdowns. I don't know. Look, listen, am I trying to convince myself that he's at some point, he may never see the starting lineup. I mean, let's be real here. Not with my 4 wide receivers of Tyreek Hill, Devontae Adams, McLaurin, and Jamar Chase. But if he does, something right has happened. And again, I do believe in that Tennessee offense.
Yeah, and look, all you need in best ball, you need one random week where he gets in the end zone twice for some reason, and you've already made your value. Right. I mean, that's the thing with best ball. It's like those guys at the end, they're not going to consistently contribute to your team. You know that. No. But if he has this crazy, random game where it's his, the anniversary of his something, and he gets in the end zone 3 times, then you're loving it. So we have 2 more picks, right? Is that where we are?
I think so. Okay. I will tell you a few deep sleepers for those folks out there that I absolutely love, and I've started them up. But Olamide Zaccheaus is somebody in Atlanta, lined up outside about 90% of the time. When Julio missed time, actually, we saw Zaccheaus kind of step into that flanker role. Ridley kicked into the X receiver role. And Zaccheaus, I thought, has an inside track, at least now with Julio gone, to see more snaps as an outside wide receiver. Van Jefferson, if there is a tendency that we have seen in this Rams offense with Sean McVay, rookies don't get play. And we saw that with Darrell Henderson. We saw that last year with Van Jefferson. I thought in flashes, we thought that Van Jefferson looked really, really good. And so he is somebody that I think especially in redraft is somebody that you should be targeting. Marquez Valdez-Scantling, he's here. Look, again, we're talking about round 17. Does he have 2 touchdown upside? Of course he does. We saw that last year. We saw that the year prior. Every single time he steps on the field, he has two touchdown upside with Aaron Rodgers. That's going to be the big question mark, Jennifer, is whether or not MVS is going to be seeing, Rodgers slinging around or somebody else.
Absolutely.
All right, so now it's my pick is up. I do have a few areas of concern here. Not a ton of guys that I like, especially at running back, but that's okay. You know what? Is there somebody that I like though? Oh, Joshua Kelly. Here we go. Again, Joshua Kelly was a rookie last year, and I get it when Austin Eckler went down. He didn't look great. And I understand that. But I believe in developing guys. And I thought Joshua Kelly is going to be somebody who has a decent athletic profile, playing a high scoring offense. Again, dart throw, it could go anywhere.
So I am up next. And unless I get sniped here, I'm going to roll with Darrington Evans as my kind of last minute RB.
Oh my gosh, that is a great pick, and I don't know why I must have just missed it.
Yeah, he's there for at the moment, but we'll see what happens. This guy only has 4 running backs, so he may take him right in front of me. But I feel like you said, you want a piece of offenses that are going to score points, and God forbid something happens to Henry, he's already there.
Right.
Even with so. As my 17-11 pick, I'm good with it. And now I'm about my last pick is coming up here, and I've got 2 guys. I think, I say that I want nothing to do with the Houston offense, but I kind of like Nico Collins just because there's nobody else there. And if he does have a good camp, and if he does, then maybe he'll do something. So he's going to be my Mr. Irrelevant. We don't know what is going on in Houston, obviously, at the quarterback position. But but after Cooks and maybe Cobb, I feel like Collins is there. So as my 18th pick, that's what it was.
I did a not great job drafting tight end, and I wish I had thrown more, Stokes into the fire. At the tight end position. I'm ultimately, I doubt he'll get taken here. Yeah. So I'm going Dawson Knox, pass catching tight end there for a high scoring offense in Buffalo. And that'll be my draft. But I wish looking back at some of my picks here. I do wish I had thrown some more darts into that tight end pool. And I think I missed an opportunity. Look at my last 4 picks. It's Phil Lindsay, Josh Reynolds, Joshua Kelly, Dawson Knox. I need to address tight end.
Who else? More. Yeah, who else did you have? I can't remember besides Knox.
It was Jared Cook and Evan Ingram are my two top guys, and even Cook. Again, it's like we don't know what we're going to get with Cook. Obviously, getting on in years. I like his starting potential there with the Chargers. Playing with the quarterback that can sling it, no doubt. But again, it's a dart throw, and like you said, hitting on these guys is hard. It's rare. And he certainly falls into that mix, which is why I wish I had thrown a few more, casted a few more things into the ocean, into that tight end ocean. I thought I kind of sort of failed there.
Yeah, tight end is tough. It's tough to navigate because if you don't pay up, then you're kind of always chasing it. And then you always feel like, that middle tier is tough. Like, do I want to invest that pick in Logan Thomas or Higbee when I could get an Amari Cooper or whatever? I don't know if that's the exact ADP, but you know what I mean? It's hard. Yeah. Like at that point, you're like, wouldn't I rather have a wide receiver, 2 or 3 than take this tight end that may, not do anything. So it's a really tough position to navigate in best ball because you don't get a second chance to hit the waiver wire and grab someone that randomly emerges.
All right. So by the way, very quick draft. This whole thing took about 45 minutes, I think was, I guess about 50 minutes was the time of this draft, which was nice. Okay. Let's go over your team here, Jennifer, and kind of sort of walk me through where you think the strengths are, where you think you could have done a little bit better, what you would have changed if you had the opportunity.
Sure. So I think, as we've said throughout, I think that my team is pretty balanced, which I'm happy with. I think I have an elite quarterback, and then I have kind of a middle-ish and then a bottom guy. So I kind of have one from each level in the quarterback department. I do have that stack with Dak and Jarwin, which I do like. When we move to running back, I'm okay with it. I feel like I said, I do think Carson is undervalued, and I think he can end up as an RB1 for an RB2 price tag. So I'm okay with that. I think Hunt has standalone value, and I think the rest of these guys, really those next three, Edwards and Williams, and then I don't love Chuba Hubbard. He was kind of that was kind of a misclick draft, which is why we never talked about it because I didn't really need to take him. But I'm kind of okay. I mean, I don't hate. I've definitely had a worse stable of running backs in my day, so I don't hate it. And then moving on to wide receivers, I'm good with most of them. I feel like, between Brown, Woods, Samuel, I do like that as my 1, 2, 3, as my weekly starters. Landry is something that, we'll kind of have to see what happens with him and OBJ and how, the target share works out there. And I do have Baker to go with that, which is kind of nice. Right. I do like Parker's upside. I think he's someone that is being undervalued. People have kind of written him off, and I don't feel like that, he's done yet. And then the last two are rookies that may or may not. And then, of course, Kelsey and Jarwin I'm good with. So I think as a whole, I would give myself, a B to a B plus here. I think it's nicely balanced, and I don't think that it's too skewed to where if one person goes down, I'm done for. So that's kind of how I feel.
All right, there you go. All right, just taking a quick look over at the squad. Kyler Murray, Ryan Tannehill, my two quarterbacks.
Solid.
Again, I mean, it's going to be Kyler most weeks, but Ryan Tannehill is going to have one of those wild games where it's just crazy efficient. You know what I mean? Like he's going to have a 3 touchdown performance with a bunch of rushing yards in there mixed in too. So I did, again, I talk about tight end. I didn't do a good job at tight end. I also did a really bad job in terms of stacking. I did not stack at all. Like I've got Kyler Murray. I have no Arizona players. I have Ryan Tannehill. I really don't have any Tennessee players of note at all. So
you took Reynolds. You got Reynolds.
Yeah, but I mean,
he's a body, right?
He's a body, but obviously, I would have liked to stack a little bit more. In terms of finding offenses that I think produce explosive plays and explosive players. You want to buy into that. I think Kyler Murray is an explosive player, so I wish I had found a way to sort of get Nuke Hopkins somewhere in the mix there, and maybe I could have gone Nuke instead of where'd I go? Terry McLaurin. Maybe I could have gone Nuke right there. That would have been nice. Obviously, I took the receiver before I took the quarterback, so you don't really know. But I will say this: I probably should try to find a way to get Ryan Fitzpatrick at some point in my draft, but that obviously did not happen. Running back, we know that I went, kind of 0 RB, at least off the top. First 4 rounds in, I don't think I took. Actually, let me just take a look at my draft. What did I do? I know first 4 picks were all wide receiver. Yep. Tyreek Hill, Devontae Adams, Terry McLaurin, Jamar Chase, 1, 2, 3, 4. Then I went Kyler around 5.
Kyler was an auto.
Was an auto pick. Was an auto pick for me. Yeah.
You were trying to get a running back. I can't remember which one. I think you were going to take Hunt there, and you ended up with Kyler. So
right. So not a great job, but that's okay. To be honest with you, actually, I'm kind of sort of happy I lucked into Kyler there versus taking a Kareem Hunt.
Yeah, and honestly, like you were talking about stacks, honestly, naked Kyler is just fine. I mean, he's going to be, he's going to be just fine for you there.
Right. Trey Sermon, Damian Harris, Raheem Mostert, 1, 2, 3 in round 6, 7, 8. I'd love to know what the chat thinks about this strategy here. Going Trey Sermon, Raheem Mostert, 2 of 3 picks. I know that's very unconventional, Jennifer, but I don't know. I actually don't feel bad about that as unconventional as that is.
It is, but you know what? That's what you have to do in these best ball. You can't just. You got to be unconventional. You got to and especially when you're doing multiple, throughout the course of the off season. I mean, you don't want every team to be the same and
right.
Listen, if that, like you said, in a Kyle Shanahan, that's where you want to do it in that running back room,
Ryan Tannehill in round 9, I thought was good value for me. I loved my Darrell Henderson pick there in round number 10. And then it really should have gone tight end heavy, and I just didn't do it. I think Elijah Moore, probably a wasted pick right there. Philip Lindsay, most likely a wasted pick. And then Josh Reynolds, probably hated that pick the worst, but it's in round 16. So it's, what can you do?
I don't think Philip Lindsay is wasted. I really don't. And maybe it's because I live in Denver and maybe it's because I watched him, but I mean, the dude cranked.
He's a good player.
He cranked out 2,000-yard seasons being undrafted, and then Denver just kind of throws him out. And now, I mean, yes, he's in a really bad situation, but he may emerge and he may actually have a really good season. I mean, the guy can play. You know, he's little and he's really fun to watch run. But I think that, you know, where did you take him, in the 15th? I mean, I think that that's not. You never know. You know, that I don't hate that pick at all.
Yeah, 15th round, Philip Lindsay. All right, let's take a look at some of these other players very, very quickly here, or other teams rather, Jennifer. Is there anybody that pops out to you in terms of like, oh, this guy had a really great draft?
Let me see. It's crazy that Josh Jacobs is now. You know, I mean, I don't want him, but that he's in the 4th round is pretty nuts.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's tough to really see what anyone did. I know I don't absolutely hate anybody's draft because, like I said earlier, I tried to look real quick and see if there was anything that didn't make any sense to me.
Well, let's look at that Cam Akers team.
Oh, yeah.
And that's Troutman Can, right? So, like the Cam Akers team, which he took Cam Akers 9th pick overall, followed that up with Aaron Jones, Allen Robinson, David Montgomery. It's actually, other than the Akers pick, actually, to be honest with you, it's not bad. You know, I'll say this too, Jennifer. If he took Aaron Jones at 9 and then took Cam Akers in the 2nd,
yes, exactly.
I think we're okay with that, right? Mm-hmm. So I think overall he did fine.
That would make more sense. Did he get? I was just going to say, did he get Fields? And he did. So he's stacked. He's got A-Rob and he's got Montgomery and Fields. So he did a Chicago stack, which is probably not a very popular stack this season. It
really isn't. Yeah, no, right. The fact that he got Deontay Johnson there in the 5th round, I think that's an interesting one. Michael Gallup, Brandon Cooks, Mike Williams. I think those are all really good best ball receivers.
I really like Mike Williams, and he seems to be really untalked about but I mean, he's the 2nd guy there. And Herbert, yeah. I find it strange that people are off Mike Williams this season. I've been taking him when I can, or when he's there.
And again, I think obviously he's a much better best ball player, and I know that's so cliche to say that, but no, I mean, it really is, because he is a guy, big body wide receiver, good athlete, playing with Justin Herbert. Yeah, you talk about a guy that's got 2 touchdown upside. This is a guy.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the guy. And at some point he will, I think, crack through. So I do like him there in the 9th round. But overall, oh wow, look at him! He actually locked up the entire New England tight end room with Jonnu Smith and Hunter Henry.
See,
what do you guys think about that? That's an interesting play.
It is. That whole offense as a whole just scares me. I mean,
oh yeah.
I understand they're probably going for the Gronk, Aaron Hernandez thing. I don't know that can be done again, and I don't know whether it's Cam. I mean, we don't even know exactly who the quarterback will be. With Cam there, I just don't know that I want to go for any of the pass catchers, because I feel like he's always going to run when he can. You know, I don't know. I have a hard time really. I don't know that. Yeah.
It's really interesting because you talked about him stacking the Bears. He also stacked New England too a little bit. Jonnu Smith, Hunter Henry, went with Jacoby Myers there in the 17th round too. So, and look, I get it. Look, we saw Jacoby have that insane game in a primetime Island game. And then I don't think we ever heard from Jacoby Myers ever again.
Right.
After that explosion. But obviously if Cam locks into a guy and it's Jacoby Myers, he does have that upside. And then Sammy Watkins to round out his draft. I thought that's a perfect pick in the 18th round. It really is. I mean, he's probably not going to do anything for 15 weeks, but there will be that 1 week where Sammy Watkins.
Yeah, that's his thing, man. That's his brand, the Sammy brand. No, I do think it's interesting that he went with 2 pretty weird and unpopular stacks. I mean, I haven't seen anyone stacking New England or Chicago really. So
right.
Exactly. It is a way to get, very cheap, inexpensive stacks. So I don't hate Troutman Cam, other than your first pick.
Yeah. Which again, then he made up for it with getting good value. I think Aaron Jones in the 2nd round. So it's fine.
Absolutely.
No one's draft really sticks out to me in terms of oh my gosh, wow. That was a terrible draft. Strong drafts though. Mr. Magoo with Christian McCaffrey, DK, George Kittle, Josh Jacobs, 1, 2, 3, 4. That is strong. That's a lot of potential and a lot of potential touchdowns there in the first 4 rounds. Follows it up with Justin Herbert as his quarterback 1. He's got Tony Pollard as a very good handcuff. Love that pick. Ryan Fitzpatrick, another high upside quarterback. he's going for it, man. Emmanuel Sanders there in Buffalo. Come on now. Come on.
Yeah, I know. It's I've taken him at times when I can, because I feel like, yeah, I mean, you want pieces, as we said, you want pieces of high-powered offenses, and so I don't think Sanders is done yet. I think he definitely has one more good season in him.
Oh, and then how about Deshaun?
Yeah.
He threw Deshaun Watson there at the very, very end, last pick of the entire draft. Deshaun Watson. Don't hate it. Don't hate it at all.
I mean, listen, he's got, at this point, we don't know what's going to happen, but if he does play, I mean, that's an insane value. I don't know that he will, though. I really don't think he's going to play. Do you? I mean, I don't know.
I don't think so. I think the league is probably going to put him on ice. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'd have to think. But that being said, crazier things have happened.
No, for sure. I mean, the NFL
league is very, very inconsistent about suspensions and commissioners exempt list and all of those things. They're extremely inconsistent. So, it's like trying to figure that out. And like, I remember it was like, a couple years back, it's like, what is a catch? And then also what is going to get you suspended? We have no idea.
Right. No, exactly.
We have no idea. So anyways, okay. So that's your draft, guys. We're going to be doing this each and every week with 4 for 4 and Underdog. We appreciate Jennifer. We appreciate you rolling through. Thought you had a really interesting draft. And you have a draft strategy, I think, that's very different than mine. So it's actually quite, I don't know, enlightening, I think, to also get your thought process behind what you're thinking there too. So good stuff. Appreciate you joining.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me. This was great. It was, it is interesting. I love doing this and drafting with people that you don't normally do this with and you don't know. Like, I've done this before. TJ and I have live streamed drafts. And I mean, we both know each other's guys. We know exactly where we're going. So it's fun to draft with someone where you don't know their strategy beforehand. And the fact that you have differing strategies the entire time makes it pretty fun too. And then, of course, trying to battle the rest of these guys at the same time. So
and talking.
Exactly.
And doing all those things.
Yeah, we each only had, I think, one misclick. That's not too bad, right? But no, I had a great time. Thank you very much for having me. It was fun.
All right. So again, if you guys would be so kind, subscribe to the YouTube channel, youtube.com/JamesDCoh. Would very much appreciate the follow there. And of course, follow 4 for 4 as well on Twitter and on YouTube. We are going to be giving away prizes each and every week. So I appreciate everyone sticking by and sticking with us. But for now, for Jennifer, James Koh, we'll see you.